All right, well, you got through the whole thing. You've gotten all the videos done. Um, Hopefully, you've gone now and back and reviewed that final bit of information in the book. You've looked over the questions that pertain to that material. You've tackled the why or the reasoning behind the answers to the questions to understand the concepts better. If you have been following along with the Reese plan, or the plan that I gave you since the very beginning of this entire thing, since the intro video, if you've been following along with that process each time, taking the videos in, studying in the book, reviewing the material, and then taking, answering, seeing if you can answer the test questions that are actually in the book under the writing or nearby the writing, and then understanding the why behind it, reading that material, seeing if you got those questions right, and then studying that material again if you still have questions. If you've done all of that, you should have been watching your test scores rise incrementally every time you've taken a test. You should have just finished test 5. Again, hopefully you did that before you watched this video, but that's okay if you didn't. If you did, go take that test. And then you should see. Because the last thing you want to do is to take that test and then check those questions, review anything that you got wrong, review the stuff that you got right, and make sure that you understand those concepts. Don't just look at the wrong questions or the questions that you got wrong. Look at everything, and then review. Double check those things. But regardless, you should have, by the time we hit this last test, the 5th test, you should be scoring at least an 82 on this test. That would put you 12 points above what you would need to score on the actual FAA Part 107 exam. You need a 70 to pass. There's 60 questions on the test. You have probably been, completing your tests in maybe 45 minutes to close to an hour. You're going to have double that amount of time on the FAA exam. You will have a couple of hours to complete 60 questions. That comes down to roughly 2 minutes per question. And yes, some of those questions are going to maybe take a few more minutes, like the questions that I showed you to draw pictures for, and that kind of stuff. It may take you an extra minute to figure out what the G factor is, or the load factor is for a vehicle, an aircraft flying at a 35-degree bank angle or something like that. It's going to take you a minute to do that math, but you're going to make up for that by just jamming through these questions from the very beginning. You're just going to be going bing, 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 bing through these questions, and you're going to be saving yourself time. Each question that you answer in, say, 10 or 15 seconds or less is going to save you time for those questions that you really need a minute or 2 or maybe 3 to answer, and that's fine. Don't fret. Don't get upset or overexcited on the test. The last thing I'm going to do for you is, in your book, at the very beginning of the book, there are some test strategies there for you. I'm going to be adding some of my own test strategies for you as well. So number 1, read the ones in the book, make sure you know those, and then go and read the ones that I'm going to post for you at the end of the lesson here, so that you can go into that test feeling confident, number 1, that you have been scoring plenty above what you need to pass that test, and number 2, that you have some strategies that will help you fight any test anxiety that you may have going into this test, because you know you are going to do well. If you've been doing well on this test, or this entire session and lessons, if you've been doing good on this program, you're going to do good on that final test. So feel confident. Go in there and destroy it. So I'm looking forward to hearing back from you, and please don't forget to email me and let me know how you did. whether it's good or bad, win, lose, or draw. I need to know so that one, we can tell if we're doing things right, or two, more importantly, if we're doing anything wrong or not getting it right. I'd like to hear from you. So if you didn't do well on the final exam, if you go to the FAA test and for whatever reason you don't do well, and you followed everything that I did for you here in this session or this lesson, then I'd like to know. And if you have any ideas as to what could have helped or helped you to get through the test better, I'd like to know that as well. That's all helpful for us to continue making this whole class better for the people taking it in the future. But I can tell you, we've been teaching this already for 7 years. We've been doing it well, and there's been only one person fail this test since the beginning of time. So I am looking forward to a positive outcome for you, just like everybody before you that's taken this test. So with that being said, go check out in the book and look for the testing strategies, and also go look on the class, the Google Classroom, in this session to see some of the stuff I've printed there on some strategies you can use to make sure you do well. And again, please just know that all of this, everything you've done so far, is research-based and proven best practices in education, and what we're telling you should get you with no problem through this test. Have a great day, and I look forward to hearing that you got a passing grade. Talk to you soon.